Hello everyone, welcome to the class of English Literature. In today's session, we are going to discuss chapter 52 to 57 of Far from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy. The novel builds towards its climax in chapter 52, appropriately named Converging Courses. Hardy divides the chapter into 7 sections, charting the activities of Boldwood, Bathsheba, Gabriel, and Troy as they prepare for and attend Boldwood's Christmas Eve party. The party is talked about all over Weatherbury, largely because it is so unusual for Boldwood to give a party. He has decorated his long hall meticulously, but we are told, in spite of all this, the spirit of revelry was wanting in the atmosphere of the house. Boldwood is not a natural host. Bathsheba is dressing for the party. She tells Lady, I am foolishly agitated. I am the cause of the party, and that upsets me. She decides to continue to wear her mourning and dress in black for the festivities. Boldwood too is dressing and has given an inordinate amount of attention to his clothes, hiring a tailor to alter everything. Gabriel visits him and Boldwood asks for his assistance in tying his tie. He asks, does a woman keep her promise, Gabriel? And Gabriel answers, if it is not inconvenient to her, she may. Gabriel warns him not to build too much on promises, and it is clear that Boldwood harbors fear of Bathsheba's refusal. He is highly agitated. We also see Troy and Pennywise as they prepare to go to Boldwood's party. Troy asks Pennywise about Bathsheba's relationship with Boldwood and Gabriel. Troy finally sets off for the party in disguise, thinking that Bathsheba is on the verge of marrying Boldwood. He plans to arrive at 9. Now we are shown Boldwood at his farm again as he offers Gabriel a larger part of the farm's profits, saying that he hopes to retire from the management altogether. Boldwood says he knows Gabriel loves Bathsheba and says he believes he has won the competition for Bathsheba, in part because of Gabriel's goodness of heart. As the guests arrive, Boldwood shows feverish anxiety. The climax of the novel comes in chapter 53. The villagers gather outside Boldwood's house, whispering that Troy has been seen that day in Casterbridge. The night is dark as a hedge. Boldwood is waiting desperately for Bathsheba, and the workers overhear him say, oh, my darling, why do you keep me in suspense like this? Bathsheba arrives, and the workers try to decide whether to tell Boldwood about Troy. Then they spot his face at the window. After an hour, Bathsheba prepares for departure, and Boldwood finds her alone in the parlor. He pressures her, and she agrees to give the promise, if I must. Boldwood finally presses her to take a ring, persuading her to wear it for just that night, and she begins to cry. He is almost violent in his firmness, and she is beaten into non-resistance. Just then, a stranger is announced, and in front of the whole party, Troy announces, Bathsheba, I am come for you. She does not move. He reaches out to pull her toward him, but she shrinks back. Her dread irritates Troy, who seizes her arm violently. She screams. The sound of the scream is followed by a deafening bang. Boltwood has shot Troy dead. He is about to shoot himself as well when a worker stops him. Boltwood leaves the hall. In the next chapter, we learn that Boltwood has turned himself in at the Casterbridge prison, while Bathsheba has tended to Troy and called for a surgeon. Troy, however, is dead. Months later, in March, Boltwood's trial occurs. The onlookers learn that Boltwood had prepared a set of ladies' dresses in expensive fabrics in a closet in his home and several sets of jewelry in packages labeled Bathsheba Boltwood. Boltwood is sentenced to death by hanging. However, the residents of Weatherbury are convinced that Boltwood is not morally responsible for his actions, and Gabriel sends a petition to the Home Secretary requesting a reconsideration of the sentence. Finally, on the eve of his execution, the news comes that he has been pardoned and given confinement during Her Majesty's pleasure instead. Troy is buried in the same grave as Fanny Robin. Bathsheba's spirits slowly revive as the spring turns to summer. One day, as she is visiting the grave, she sees Gabriel singing the church choir. He joins her at the grave and tells her that he intends to leave Weatherbury. Upset, she begs him to stay, but he will not. When she receives his official final notice as bailiff, she cries and decides to visit him at his cottage. He invites her in and explains that one of his motivations for leaving are the rumors going around the village about a romance between the two of them. After some confusion, Bathsheba admits that she has come courting him, and the two agree to marry. The last chapter portrays the quiet wedding of Gabriel and Bathsheba. After the wedding, the two dine at the farm, and all the men of the village gather to sing and play for them. Thank you.